Hello guys, welcome to the class based on foreign words and phrases in the English language section of the degree level competitive exam. So today we are understanding or familiarizing the topic foreign words and phrases. These foreign words and phrases are generally not asked directly. But the knowledge of the foreign words and phrases will help you in the reading comprehension or other type of common questions. So we have to make us familiarize with the topic because it will be really helpful for the reading comprehension section or many other types of common questions in the examination, competitive examination. So let's start. Let's start with the we are familiarizing topic in the alphabetic order. Alphabetic order. All of the aspirants must familiarize the words accurately and precisely. Okay. So let's begin. Ab initio. Ab initio means from the beginning. These are some foreign words. So the foreign words will be like this: ab initio, ad hoc, or de jure, de facto. These are some of the foreign words. It is not in English language, but some of the adopted foreign words from the English language. So, ab initio. What do you mean by ab initio? Ab initio means from the beginning. Ab initio means from the beginning. Ab initio means initial. Ab initio means from the beginning. Addenda means list of additions. Addenda, addition, ADD, additions. Addenda, list of additions. We have to make a addenda to the book, means that to addenda to a book, which means list of additions. Next, ad valorem, VAL, valorum means value. So ad valorem means according to value. So next word, ad hoc committee. We know the ad hoc committee in the government section. So ad hoc committee, what is ad hoc committee? A body is elected or appointed for a definite work. Next one, ad infinitum. What do you mean by that? To infinity. Ad infinitum means to infinity. Alma mater means a school which one has attended. What do you mean by alma mater? A school which one has attended. Next, ele carte. We have these. We know this word just in some DTH services. We see some hotels ele carte, which means according to the bill of fare. We know this word. Okay, ele carte. Next, LA mode. LA mode means according to the custom. LA mode means according to the custom. According to the custom means, what do you mean by according to the custom? Fashion or tradition. Custom fashion. I mean, LA mode silk, which means that it's a fashion of silk. It's a custom it's a tradition. LA mode. Alter ego. We know this word. Alter ego means the other self of us, or intimate friend. Siddharth was the alter ego of Sam. Which means the alter ego there means what? The intimate friend. So alter ego means the other self or the intimate friend. So next one is amente honorable, which means that satisfactory apology. An apology, a satisfactory apology. Or reparation. What do you mean by reparation? An action of repairing something, that is called reparation. The action of repairing something. It's called reparation. Next one, armu prop. Armu, R is silent, prop, R-E is silent. Okay, armu prop means self-love. Next one, Osia regime. It's not ancient regime, it's Osia regime, which means a political or social system that has been displayed by another. Osia regime. Okay. Next word, a posteriori. It's not a posteriori, it's a posteriori. Which means empirical. Empirical means based on or concerned with. Next word, a priori. priori. A priori. It's not a priori, it's a priori, which means from cause to effect or presumptive. From cause to effect or presumptive. Presumptive means presumed in the absence of further information. Presumed in the absence of further information. So, an example for a priori, there is no a priori reason to think your expenses will remain the same in a new city. It's an instance. There is no a priori reason to think your expenses will remain the same in a new city. Next, apropos. Apropos. Apropos means in respect of. Apropos means in respect of. Next word, occur. Occur. It's NT is silent. NT is silent. So we have to pronounce it as occur. Occur. What do you mean by occur? Occur means well informed or fully aware of. That's its meaning. Next one is euphane. Euphane. It's not euphane. It's A is silent, T is silent. So euphane. Euphane. Completely familiar with. Completely familiar with. Euphane. Completely familiar with. Next, it's not I revore. Revore. It's called. It's overwa. Overwa. It's not a revore. It's overwa. It's a foreign language. That's it's how it pronounced. Okay, its literal meaning is until we meet again. Until we meet again. Overwa. Its literal meaning is until we meet again. To say overwa at parting, we have to say overwa at parting. Next word, avant propos. T is silent, S is silent. Avant propos, which means preliminary matter or preface. The preliminary matter or the preface, the introductory section. That's the literal meaning. Avant, notes avant. It's our propos. Our propos. Next word, it's beau ideal. It's not ideal. It's ideal. Beau ideal. The ideal of perfection. The ideal of perfection. Next word is Beaumont. Beaumont. Beaumont means the world of fashion. Beaumont means the world of fashion. Next word is beaux esprits. It's not esprits, it's beaux esprits. Beaux esprits means literal meaning is man of wit. Man of wit. Beaux esprits mean man of wit. Next word is bête noire. It's not noire, it's bête noire. Bête noire. A special aversion. Literal meaning is a special aversion. Its literal meaning is called a special aversion. Example, where we have to say Sam or Simon. Simon was my father's bête noire. Bête noire. Which means a special aversion. Aversion means a terrible dislike. A terrible dislike or a strong dislike. That's called the literal meaning of aversion is called a strong dislike. So Uncle Sam or Simon was my father's bête noire, which means a special aversion, a terrible, a strong dislike of my father's. Next word, we know this word. We just heard this word a lot of times. Bona fide. Bona fide. Bona fide means good faith. Bona fide means good faith. Example, she has established her position as a bona fide celebrity. She has established her position as a bona fide celebrity. Next word, bizarre. Bizarre. Bizarre means odd and fantastic. Odd and fantastic. It's called bizarre. Next word, we heard about this word in many cartoons. So I think it's in the olden times, the Tom and Jerry cartoons. We've seen these words. It's bon voyage. Bon voyage. A good voyage or journey to you. A good voyage or journey to you. Its literal meaning is a good voyage or journey to you. Bon voyage. Next word is casus belli. Casus belli. Literal meaning is that which means that which causes or justifies war. That which causes or justifies war. Next word, cause celebra. Cause celebra, which means a celebrated or notorious case in law. A celebrated or notorious case in law. Cause celebra. Next word, charge d'affaires. charge the fare, which means a diplomatic inferior in rank to an ambassador but acting on his behalf in his absence. A diplomatic inferior in rank to an ambassador but acting on his behalf in his absence. Or else we can say a subordinate diplomat who substitutes for an absent ambassador or minister. A subordinate diplomat who substitutes for an absent ambassador or minister. For example, the United Kingdom recognized the People's Republic of China in 1950 and posted a charge d'affaires in the new capital of Beijing. The United Kingdom recognized the People's Republic of China in 1950 and posted a charge d'affaires in the new capital of Beijing. Next word, chef-d'œuvre, which means masterpiece. Example, the Metonic cycle, which may be regarded as the chef-d'œuvre of ancient astronomy. The Metonic cycle, which may be regarded as the chef-d'œuvre of ancient astronomy. Next word, circa, which means about. Circa means about. Next word, contretemps. Okay, the meaning of contretemps, an unexpected or untoward event, a hitch. An unexpected or untoward event, a hitch. For instance, he had a bad contretemps with Kevin, the instructor. He had a bad contretemps with Kevin, the instructor. Next, corrigenda, which means a list of errors. Corrigenda means a list of errors. We can say a list of errors in a book, a list of errors in a walk. We can sort out that. Okay, corrigenda means a list of errors. Next word, coup d'etat. It's P silent and T silent. Coup d'etat, which means a violent change in government. Coup d'etat, which means a violent change in government. Next word, coup de grâce. P silent and E silent. Coup de grâce, which means a finishing stroke. For example, my disastrous exam results dealt with coup de grâce to my university career. My disastrous exam results dealt the coup de grâce to my university career. Next, cul-de-sac, which means a blind alley. For example, the vehicle was placed right at the end of a cul-de-sac, which was 30 yards long. Okay, the vehicle was placed right at the end of a cul-de-sac, which was about 30 yards long. Next word, debacle, which means complete tort. The literal meaning of tort is attempt to sell something. Okay, tort, complete tort. So, for the example of debacle is his first performance was a debacle. Next word, de facto, which means actual or actually. For example, English is de facto the common language of much of the world today. So next, de jure, which means from the law, by law. Okay, from the law or by law, de jure. Next word, de novo, which means anew or again. Next word, it's not denouement, it's denouement, which means the end of a plot in a play. We can say end of a plot in a play. Okay, denouement. Next word, de profundis. It's not de profundis, or it's de profundis, which means out of the depths. Next word, dernier, dernier, dernier resort, dernier resort, which means last resort. That place was my last resort. We can say that place was my last resort. So dernier resort, dernier resort. Next word is detente, detente, which means easing of strained relations, easing of strained relations. We can say we are easing the strained relation between the states or the regions or in between countries. So the detente, the literal meaning is easing of strained relations. Next word, dramatis personae, dramatis personae, which means the meaning is simple. The characters of a drama or a play. The characters of a drama or a play. Next one, elite, elite, which means the best part or the peak, the best part. Okay, the elite of a country, the elite of a region, the elite of a town. We can say, for example, we can say the elite of a country, elite of a region, elite of a town. So the elite means which means the best part, the peak. Next word, it's not enfant terrible, it's enfant terrible. Enfant terrible, which means a terrible child. One who makes disconcerting remarks. Okay, terrible child. He's a terrible child. We can say he's a terrible child. Sam is a terrible child. Okay, enfant terrible. One more time. Enfant terrible. Enfant terrible. Next word, entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, which means person in effective control of a business organization. Person in effective control of a business or business organization. Entrepreneur. Next word, omas. It's not en masse, it's omas. Omas. Omas, the literal meaning is in a body. In a body. Omas. Next word, au rapport. Au rapport, which means in harmony. We are living in harmony. We are living in harmony. Au rapport. We are living au rapport, in harmony. Next, entourage. Entourage, which means friends, a group of people accompanying a dignitary. Friends or a group of people accompanying a dignitary. Next word, errata. Errata means list of errors. Errata means list of errors. Next word, esprit de corps. Esprit de corps, which means the animating spirit of a collective body or as a regiment. The animating spirit of a collective body as a regiment. The animating spirit of a collective body as a regiment. Esprit de corps. Next word, etc. Etc means and the rest. Etc means and the rest. Next word, eureka. Eureka means a cry of joy or satisfaction when finds or discovers something. We know this word. We know this etc. and eureka words. We heard a lot of times. Okay, a cry of joy or satisfaction when one finds or discovers something. Next word, ex officio. It's not ex officio. It's ex officio. Ex officio, which means in a virtue of his office. In virtue of his office. In virtue of his office. Ex officio. Next, expose, which means a statement. Expose, which means a statement. Next, ex post facto. Ex post facto, which means acting retrospectively. Acting retrospectively. What do you mean by retrospectively? With consideration of past events or situation. With consideration of past events or situation. Medical records were retrospectively reviewed on 120 patients. So, what do you mean by retrospectively? With the consideration of past events or situation. That's retrospectively. So, we are looking at the word ex post facto, acting retrospectively. For instance, for ex post facto, we can say ex post facto laws. Ex post facto laws. Next word, fait accompli. Fait accompli, which means a thing already done. A thing already done. Fait accompli. Next word, faux pas. It's not fox pass, it's faux pas. Faux pas. X and S is silent. Faux pas, which means a false step or slip in behavior. A false step or a slip in behavior. Next word, hoi polloi. hoi polloi, which means the rabble or the ordinary people. Ordinary people. Hoi polloi, which means the rabble or ordinary people. Next word, impasse. Impasse. Impasse means a deadlock. A deadlock. A deadlock. For example, negotiations have reached an impasse. Negotiations have reached an impasse. Next word, in extenso. In extenso, which means an unextended, small in extension. Unextended, small in extension. In extenso. Next, in memoriam. In memoriam, which means in memory of. In memory of. In memoriam. Next word, in toto. In toto, which means entirely. Entirely. In toto, which means entirely. Next word, ipso facto. Ipso facto, which means by that very fact. By that very fact. Ipso facto. For example, churches are ipso facto in the God business. Churches are the ipso facto in the God business. We can say the ipso facto can be used in the same way. We would use the phrase because of that fact. Because of that fact. Its meaning is ipso facto, which means because of that fact. So churches are the ipso facto in the God business. So next word is laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. We heard this word, laissez-faire. Laissez-faire theory. Laissez-faire theory. Non-interference. The literal meaning is non-interference. Next word, malafide. Malafide, which means in bad faith or with the intent to deceive. In bad faith. Bad faith. Malafide, in bad faith. Or with the intent to deceive. With the intent to deceive. Next word, malapropos. Malapropos. Ill-timed. Ill-timed. Its meaning is ill-timed. For example, these terms applied to him seem to me malapropos. These terms applied to him seem to me malapropos. Malapropos. We can say or ill-timed or inappropriate, inopportune. This literal malapropos literal meaning is inappropriate. We can say inappropriate or ill-timed. So these terms applied to him seem to me malapropos or inappropriate. Next word, modus operandi. Modus operandi, which means manner of working. Manner of working in a group, of a gang. We can say of a group, of a gang. Manner of working. Modus operandi. Next word, mutatis mutandis. Mutatis mutandis, which means the necessary changes. The necessary changes. We can say it also means making necessary alteration while not affecting the main point at issue. Making necessary alteration while not affecting the main point at issue. That's called mutatis mutandis. Okay. Next word, noblesse oblige. Noblesse oblige, which means rank imposes obligation. Rank imposes obligation. Or either we can say privilege entails responsibility. Privilege entails responsibility. Noblesse, which means it means noble birth or condition. Noble birth or condition. So we can use the noblesse oblige. He was raised to have a strong sense of noblesse oblige. He was raised to have a strong sense of noblesse oblige. So next word, notabene. Notabene. Notabene means not well. Not well. Not well. It's not well. It's writing. Not well. Next, par excellence. Par excellence, which means preeminently. Preeminently. Next word, pari passu. Pari passu, which means side by side. Side by side. Side by side. Next word, per se. Per se. Per se. Per se. R is silent. Per se, which means by itself. By itself. Next word, pierced resistance. Pierced resistance, which means the main dish of a meal. The main dish of a meal. Okay, the main dish of a meal. Next word, post-restaurant. Post-restaurant, which means to remain in the post office till called for. To remain in the post office till called for. Next word, we heard this word postmortem. Postmortem, which means made after death. Made after death. After death, we are doing postmortem. Postmortem for medical procedures. Postmortem. Next word, prima facie. Prima facie, which means at first view or consideration. At first view or consideration. For example, prima facie, there is a strong case against him. Prima facie, he would appear to be guilty. These are the examples for using prima facie in a sentence. Prima facie, there is a strong case against him, or prima facie, he would appear to be guilty. Appear to be guilty. Next word, pro bono publico. Pro bono publico, which means for the good of the people. For the good of the people. For the good of the people or public. Next word, pro forma. Pro forma. Pro forma, which means for the sake of the form. For the sake of the form. Next, pro rata. Pro rata, which means according to rate or proportion. According to rate or proportion. According to the rate or the proportion. Pro rata. Next word, protege. Protege, which means one under the protection of another. One under the protection of another. Next word, quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo, which means an equivalent. An equivalent, or else something in return. Something in return. An equivalent or something in return. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. We are saying we have to give something in return. You have to give something in return. When I help you, you have to give something in return. You have to quid pro quo. Next word, raison d'etre. Raison d'etre, which means the reason for a thing's existence. The reason for a thing's existence. So next word, we know this word, resume. Resume, which means a summary or abstract. A summary or abstract. You have to prepare a resume of yourself. You have to prepare a resume. Okay. Which means we have to prepare a CV or resume. We heard this word, resume. A summary or abstract. You have to prepare a resume for the story. Resume, which means a summary or abstract. The summary of that story. The summary of that person. Okay. Sanctum sanctorum. Next word, sanctum sanctorum, which means holy of holies. Holy of holies, which we can say, we can take the example, the temple, the church, the mosque, sanctum sanctorum. Next word, seriatim. Seriatim, which means in a series. In a series. Seriatim, which means in a series. In a series of book, series of plays, series of episodes. Okay. In a series, seriatim episodes. Okay. Next word, it is not sine die, it's sine die. Sine die, which means without a day being appointed. Without a day being appointed. Next word, we know this word. Next word, status quo. Status quo, which means the existing condition. The existing condition. Okay. Stat. Next word, stat. Stat means what? Let it stand. Stat there. Let it stand there. Stat there. Let it stand there. Next word, sub judice. Sub judice, which means before a court. It's a court word. Sub judice, before a court, not yet decided. The two meanings, before a court, not yet decided. The two meanings of sub judice. Next, sub rosa. Sub rosa, which means under the rose. Under the rose, or confidentially, or secret. Confidentially. Sub rosa, a sub rosa statement. Confidential statement. Okay. Next word, sui generis. Sui generis, which means in a class by itself. Sui generis, which means in a class by itself. We can say it's which means it's his or her or their own kind. Their own kind, which means a unique. Unique. We can also say it's a unique. The word meaning is unique, or in a class by itself. Okay. Next word, summum bonum. Summum bonum, which means the chief good. The chief good. Next word, terra incognita. Terra incognita, which means an unknown country. An unknown country. There are so many countries which are unknown to us. We can say that's terra incognita. Terra incognita. That's an unknown country. Next, to defaults. To defaults, which means a notable feat or strength of skill. A notable feat or strength of skill. Next word, ultravirus. Ultravirus. We know this ultraviolet. It's not ultraviolet. It's ultravirus. Beyond one's authority. Beyond one's authority. Some are ultravirus to me. It's beyond my authority. Beyond my authority. Next word, verbatim. Verbatim. Verbatim means a word for a word. Word for word. Word for word. Next, we know this word, vice versa. Vice versa, which means conversely. Which means conversely. Okay, vice versa. We use this term a lot of times, vice versa, which means conversely. Next word, vis-a-vis. Vis-a-vis. It's not vis-a-vis, it's vis-a-vis, which means opposite or face to face. Opposite or face to face. You have to be vis-a-vis to me. You have to be face to face. Vis-a-vis interaction, face to face interaction. Okay. Next, viva voice. Viva voice, which means we know this word. We use these words a lot of times. So we heard these words a lot of times. An examination conducted orally. An examination conducted orally. Viva voice. Viva. Tomorrow is my viva voice. An examination conducted orally, face to face. Okay. Next word, vox populi or vox dei. Dei. It's not die, it's dei. Dei. Vox populi or vox dei. Sorry, dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of the people is the voice of the God. The literal meaning is the voice of the people is the voice of God. Okay. So the last word, zeitgeist. Zeitgeist, which means the spirit of the age. The spirit of the age. So, we just explained a lot of words, a lot of foreign words and phrases in the English language section. Next, we are going to discuss some of the questions based on these foreign words and phrases. First question, what does the Latin phrase nota bene means? Nota bene means. Just go through the options and find your answer. Second question, dash see you again next year. Dash see you again next year. Go through the options again and find your answer. Just think in mind or written in something. Okay. In the last section, we will discuss these answers. Okay. Next, the dash movie we watched last night was so odd we left the theater in stunned silence. The dash movie, the dash. Okay. What movie we watched last night was so odd we left the theater in stunned silence. Okay. Next, he was present at the meeting as officio. He was present at the meeting as officio. What does the term as officio here means? Next, what does the term entourage means? What does the term entourage means? Just go through the options. Next question. School was closed today in memoriam of the president and will be closed tomorrow too for his funeral. What does the term in memoriam here means? What does the term in memoriam means? Just go through the options again. Next, the judge concluded that the company had acted dash in concealing the information. The judge concluded that the company had acted dash in concealing the information. Next question. As per the dash agreement, she agreed to spot the clothes on the ramp for the exposure she would receive in return. As per dash agreement, she agreed to spot the clothes on the ramp for the exposure she would receive in return. Next, when Columbus and his successors first crossed the Atlantic, they entered upon dash a land that came to be called the New World. Once more, when Columbus and his successors first crossed the Atlantic, they entered upon dash a land that came to be called the New World. Last one. What does the term sub rosa means? What does the term sub rosa means? Just go through the options. So these are the answers. Just go through that and check your answers are correct. So I think we just covered most of the foreign words and phrases in the English language section in the competitive exam. So a tip for you: in a day, study at least 10 foreign word or phrase. Study at least 10 foreign words or phrase in your syllabus pattern. Only then you can cover these foreign words and phrases. Otherwise, you can't cover. You can cover the subject, and we can't study these complete foreign words and phrases in one day or 1 month. You have to repeat and repeat and repeat and over and over and only then we can cover the foreign words and phrases. So you just have to study at least 10 words in one day. Okay, 10 words and its meaning. Okay, so thank you for watching this class and have a good day.